Y'all, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, you already know what we do. This is my HYROX Phoenix 2026 recap video. Now, if you haven't seen the actual race video, I'm gonna need you to go watch that right there. Go get caught up. That's where all the action, that's where all the fun is. This video is more about just kind of like giving some insight, some commentary about race day, what I was thinking, what I was seeing, just overall what the vibe was that day. So let's get into it. The 2026 Phoenix HYROX was held at State Farm Stadium. It's NFL stadium, is where the Cardinals play. So that was a big deal. That was the first time they've ever done something like this. So the energy and the excitement just coming into it was already extremely high. And I think it lived up to the hype. You know, when I got there, I was just like, this is crazy. Like, I couldn't imagine having to go on day one where you don't actually get the chance to see everything. Like, I went on day 3, so I actually got to like look at everything a few days before and kind of absorb it. So shout out to you if you went day 1, because I know that probably wasn't easy, but it lived up to the hype. It's not every day you're going to get to compete in an NFL stadium, especially not at this big age. So I couldn't ask for a bad experience. I hope that they do all the Phoenix HYROXs at the State Farm Stadium. I know that might be wishful thinking, but man, like, what a first experience. So after that, let's get into the athlete registration and warm-up area. This part was actually dope because it was away from everybody else. It was one thing to be like a spectator and like be in the crowd and, you know, be around everyone's family and friends. But once you got to the athlete registration and warm-up area, this is kind of where like things start to get a little bit more locked in. It kind of started to feel like you were stepping into the arena a little bit. And if you've ever played sports, whether it be college or I guess even high school, this is like that calm before the storm where everyone's kind of quiet and you know that you're about to go do something hard. So I really enjoyed this part because, you know, it just felt cool. Like, it's not something that you can articulate with words. It's just something, you know, you had to be there. So after we got warmed up, we did our bag drop. This is kind of where everything starts for me. We don't have our cameras, we don't have anything. Normally at a HYROX in the warm-up area, it's still in like a visible area so you can see your family, your friends, all that. At this HYROX, once you got down to the warm-up area, you were just cut off from everything, which is actually a good thing because obviously it's gonna allow you to focus a lot more. So we did our bag drop, we walked down the tunnel, and now it's getting real. Now you're a few minutes away from going to start your HYROX. So my plan for warm up was just to, you know, hit the treadmill a little bit, get my heart nice and primed, and kind of take it from there. So after I got done with the treadmill, I touched a few stations. I lightly touched sled pull. I did a few wall balls, some dynamic stretching, and I was ready to go. So as we're walking into the tent though, one of the judges stopped my partner and told him that his timing chip was on backwards. Now, this kind of ended up being a little bit of a divine intervention because had we walked into the tent the moment we attempted to, we might have been somewhere in the middle of the wave or maybe at the front of the wave. But while he was fixing that, it kind of cut our time down. So by the time he got done finishing that, we had about 1 minute and 15 seconds, 45 seconds, something like that, to get into the tent. And so we started at the back of the wave, which actually worked out perfectly because I'm really big on like not getting sucked into other people's energy at the beginning of a race. And this happens a lot. This can happen at a marathon. This can happen at a 5K. Sometimes the energy around you can pull you in unintentionally. And then the next thing you know, you're kind of in no man's land. So we started at the back of the wave. So we were the last couple to come out the tent. And this played into our strategy perfectly because we wanted to kind of come out conservative and like let the race come to us. So that's what happened. Now I will say this, when you start a HYROX coming out that tent, you're not coming out into an empty course. You're literally coming out into people at the end of the race, people mid race. So you kind of have to like navigate a lot of things right at the beginning. And that's basically what happened. All right, so finishing our first run, we did our first run in 5 minutes and 9 seconds. This was actually perfect. This is where we wanted to be. It was conservative, it was chill, we wasn't doing too much. We was just kind of letting the race come to us. That time ended up being 6 seconds faster than the wave average, so I feel like this is like right in the middle of the pack. Not too high, not too low. All right, so coming out of the first run, we get to our first station. That's a ski erg. plan here was the same. Keep everything chill, keep everything calm. A lot of people get a little excited right here, and I get it. You know, your adrenaline is racing and it's all this energy and excitement around you. But we kept it chill here. Now, in our simulation, we split the ski erg 500 and 500 for 1,000 meters. This one, we decided to go 250, 250, 250, 250, and that actually ended up working out. I've also seen other people split it 125. I'm not opposed to that either, but 250 seemed to work good for us. It was like just enough to get you like ready, but enough time to let you chill, kind of look around and get your wits about you. So our ski time ended up being 3 minutes and 59 seconds. This is right where we want to be. It's nothing crazy. It's like chill, calm, kind of middle of the pack. It's still 5 seconds faster than the wave average. So I'm happy with this. All right, so we get into the second run. Our second run ends up being 4 minutes and 56 seconds. After looking at all the times, this is our best run of the entire race. Most of our other runs weren't far off, but this is, as far as time, was our best run. I'll say this about the second run. I feel like I personally was still getting like a feel for what was going on, because now you've done a station, you've done a run, but you're still trying to like find your way on the course and like keep track of how many laps you've done, and you're still taking in a lot of stimulus of the environment. There's people cheering. You're still trying to like wrap your head that like you're running in the Cardinal Stadium. You look up, there's banners, not a lot, but there's still banners, and you're just trying to like figure everything out and put it all together and just calm down. So that's kind of what was happening in the second run. So the 4 minutes and 56 seconds feels great. In hindsight, thinking back of like, wasn't exactly fully in the game yet. So coming off of the second run, we got into the sled push. Now the sled push, I wasn't really tripping about this one, but this was one of those stations to me that could have went left or right. I didn't really ever know if I was doing enough weight in my training when I would practice sled push, because the sled in my gym is not like the sled that they have at HYROX. So there was days I felt like maybe it's too light, and there was days I felt like maybe it's too heavy. Well, as it would turn out, the sled that I was doing at the gym and training might have been way heavier than the actual sled push at HYROX, because once we got out there, our plan was to push it every 3 steps and then switch. But pushing it one time, I realized this is like a lot lighter than I thought. So we ended up switching to like pushing it halfway, and we did that through the entire sled push. So that worked out. That was great. Our time in the sled push ended up being 1 minute and 36 seconds. We didn't spend too much time there. It was like over before it started. I will say this though, depending on your technique, if you use too much legs, you can like low-key prematurely tax your legs a bit here. You don't really feel it until you get back out there to run number 3. And that's what we got into next. So run number 3. Run number 3 was slightly slower, 5 minutes and 15 seconds. And I say that because you could kind of feel the difference in, how your legs felt after the sled push. It wasn't horrible, but it was noticeable. And that was still 21 seconds faster than the wave average. So I feel good about that. I just noticed that we slowed down just a little bit, but nothing too crazy. We kept it pushing. So after that third run, we got into sled pull. Sled pull, I don't have much to say about it. I didn't practice sled pull at all in training, but I did do it in the warm-up area, and I realized this is not that heavy. So once we got down there, I was ready to, attack that station, because I already knew we could do it. We did get a few warnings here from the judges. We didn't get any penalties, but a couple of times when I would stand at the back of the line, or he would stand at the back of the line to make sure our partner didn't go out the box, they said our foot might be touching the line, and that wasn't allowed. But it's hard to notice all those things. Loud music, there's a lot of movement around you. So again, we didn't get any penalties, but our sled pull time was 2 minutes and 58 seconds, which was 12 seconds faster than the wave average. So I feel like we were kind of like just middle of the pack right here. But I will say, coming out of the sled pull, going into the rock zone, this is like the first time in a race that I noticed guys are starting to get tired around us, because this is where guys are starting to walk out of the rock zone. And our whole thing was we never wanted to walk in a rock zone at all. It was going to be run out of every station, run into every station. So proud of us for doing that, because like I said, this is where a lot of guys started to slow down. All right, so run number 4. Run number 4, we did that in 4 minutes and 59 seconds. So kind of got back into a little bit more of a gear here. This run was 39 seconds faster than the wave average. So like I said, a lot of guys were starting to fatigue, but that sled push, sled pull with 2 runs back to back, I can see how I can kind of take you out. Yeah, run 4 went smooth. We did that and went straight into burpee broad jumps. Now, burpee broad jumps. I'm gonna pause real quick. Burpee broad jumps almost took me out on my first simulation when I did singles. I was not ready for burpee broad jumps. I didn't realize how violent of a station burpee broad jumps could be. So after that first simulation, I made it a point to work on my burpee broad jumps. Like, not just the burpee broad jumps that you do on the day of. Like, I was doing a variety of burpee broad jumps. Burpee broad jumps onto boxes, burpee broad jumps on the plates, burpee broad jumps moving. I was becoming a burpee broad jump. So when we got to this station, I was more than ready because I knew how bad it felt when I wasn't good at them. And I really wanted to attack them here on the HYROX Phoenix. So that's what we did. We just moved through these efficiently. We didn't have the greatest of time, but I didn't feel like we struggled at all either. So our burpee broad jump time was 2 minutes and 59 seconds, which was 19 seconds faster than the wave average. Yeah, we just handled this one. We switched often and we got through it. It was pretty straightforward. Now, after burpee broad jumps, we got into our 5th run. Our 5th run was 5 minutes and 31 seconds. Now, yeah, of course, this is a little bit slower than the previous 2, but after throwing yourself to the ground for a few minutes, I can see how you might slow down a bit. So, not a horrible run, but coming off of the station prior to it, I feel like it was okay. And it was still 22 seconds faster than the wave average. So, after that 5th run, we got into row. Row machine, I'm mid at row. I'm just gonna admit, like, I don't know. I'm mid. Like, it looks straightforward, but there is a good technique to it, and I just don't have it yet. And I'm gonna work on that moving forward. But the row was actually one of our weaker stations, and I'm not sure if it was weak just because we didn't move fast enough or what it is, but this was the first station where we were actually slower than the wave average. So our time at the row machine was 4 minutes and 52 seconds, which was 11 seconds slower than everybody else. And this is the first time I like looked around and noticed like, yo, we won like the last guys left here. So not the worst. Our plan with that was to split it up and switch every 250. I will say that that first 250 was a bit rough. And by rough, I mean just slow, not like bad. It was just slow. But on that back 250, I felt way better and way stronger. So I think maybe I just had to get my lungs back. A lot of people use the row to reset, and I think that was some of my thinking, but I really probably would do it differently next time. So after we got out of our row, we got into our 6th run. Our 6th run was 5 minutes and 17 seconds. Now, a lot of the guys that passed us on row, we were able to catch up to them again on the run. Our 6th run was actually 29 seconds faster than the wave average. So that's kind of how these races go out. I'm starting to figure out is that you can get passed on the station, but you can also make it up in the run. Just depending on whatever your strength is. And that's kind of what was going on. There was moments where I would see guys here and then pass them on the run and just kept seesawing like that throughout the race. But after that 6th run, we got into farmers carries. Now, farmers carries super straightforward, probably the easiest station in HYROX. I felt like we did leak a little bit of time here because like I probably shouldn't have been sitting there fucking around with the chalk. Like, it really didn't help me at all. And then we spent the first couple seconds of the farmers carry trying to decide if we were going to walk or run. Tyler said, let's run. So that ended up becoming the plan. We probably should have that figured out beforehand when I look at the tape. But I ran the first 100 meters, handed off. He ran the next 100 meters, and then it was over. Our time in the farmers carries was 1 minute and 33 seconds, 9 seconds faster than the wave average. I will say this. Next time, I would probably go harder on the row instead of using the row as a reset, and probably walk on the farmer's carry or speed walk on the farmer's carry, because running you really don't make up that much time, but you can use the farmer's carry to kind of recover, like, you know, your breathing wise. So that might be something I consider on the next one. Now, getting to run number 7, we repeat the same number. We hit 5:17 in our 7th run. I think this is that marathon training that comes in when you lock into a pace. That's just what it is. This ended up being 33 seconds faster than the wave average. So kind of feel like we're starting to like pull away a little bit. Nothing crazy, but feeling good. So after that 7th run, we get to sandbag lunge. Sandbag lunge was like the one that did give me anxiety. I'm not gonna lie. And not because I couldn't do it, but because like if I was gonna cramp, which I've had issues cramping in late in races, if I was gonna cramp, this is where it was gonna happen. And I remember telling Tyler as we're warming up that like the only thing that could take me out today is cramps. So, and that was in the back of my mind because every HYROX video I see, everyone cramps. If they do cramp, they cramp right here at the lunges. So I knew I can do them. I just didn't want to get overzealous and then have, full body cramps. And even in my simulations, I didn't cramp at the lunges, but I did notice that my muscles were starting to contract differently at the lunges. So we got to these lunges and I don't know, something just came over me. Something, I don't know if I wanted to prove something to myself or my alter ego kicked in, but I felt extra powerful when I got to the lunges. And after I started a few, I felt like I could do all of these. And while I didn't do all of them, we definitely still split them. I was trying to do the lion's share because in my head, I'm like, I feel good at this station and I'd rather give him a break because I knew after these lunges, we had wall balls and, one of us needs to be fresh going into that. So I tried to do as many of the lunges as I could. And I finished the last stretch lunges, which this probably came back to bite me in the ass because once I finished those lunges and I put that sandbag down, I felt my legs just flooded with like lactic acid. And I was like, holy shit. So going into that last run, I was just running with really full legs. They were cooked. And not cooked like I couldn't finish the race, or it was just, when your legs are just not optimal. And that's kind of what was going on. So we got into that last run and our original plan was to let it rip here, but there was nothing to rip at this point. I was holding on. So I made it clear to Tyler as we're running, like, you run, I'm gonna stay as close as I can to you until we get to this station. And so that's what we did. So our last run was 5 minutes and 24 seconds, slightly slower than the previous 2 runs, but still in the ballpark range. This run still was 41 seconds faster than the wave average. So we were doing good, all things considered. Now, we move into the wall balls. And as we're getting close to the wall balls, I tell him, I need you to start because my legs are still trying to get right. He's like, I got you, that's fine. Now, we get to the wall ball station and it was just a lucky day. We got one of those really strict judges and she wasn't playing no games. Tyler starts and, I'm still kind of like getting my wits about me. Our plan was to do 20, 20, 20, 20, 10, 10. As he starts, he's well into his, rhythm or whatever. She's just no repping. And I feel like he's about 20, 25 in at this point, and I peek at the screen and it says like 6 or 7. And so while the plan was to, do 20, if you're getting no rep, I don't want either one of us going beyond that because now we're throwing out the chemistry of what we had planned. So I switch, and it kind of gave me anxiety too because I'm like, is she about to no rep me into oblivion? But she didn't bother me much. I think whatever no reps I had was just I missed the target. So that happened like maybe 2 or 3 times. But we get back on track and then they bring out the box for Tyler. And I'm like, great, because I know that could like really throw your rhythm off. You going down, hit something. It's just not ideal. We ended up making it through the rest. I had to ask them to move the box for me because it low-key was about to hurt my back because I'm just not used to that there. But at this point, instead of sticking to our plan of 20, 20, 20, 10, 10, 10, all that, I was like, let's just go till you feel it. Meaning, like, if you do 6 and you get tired, let's switch. Like, we can do that the whole way there. So we made it to our 100th wall ball and we finished. And, that was that. So our time was 1 hour and 13 minutes and 28 seconds. That was 271 overall out of 783, and that was 64th in our age group. Our running time was 41 minutes and 48 seconds, and our functional time was 26 minutes and 15 seconds. Our rock zone time was 5 minutes and 34 seconds, which I'm really proud of. And our average run time was 5 minutes and 13 seconds. That's something I definitely feel like we can improve on. As far as our wave average goes, we finished in the top 19th percentile, so I feel good about that as well. Overall, it was a strong race. If you take out, or if we tighten up our row and our wall balls, definitely feel like we could finish, sub 70. We definitely would have finished 112 at least in this one, but we tighten up that wall ball station, we tighten up that row and squeeze it down a few seconds on our runs. We're easily sub 70, and we can start working down towards sub 60. I know it's a lot of time difference, but again, we had little to no training. We're coming off of marathon training, and marathon legs at HYROX just, that math don't work. But all in all, I'm very happy with our performance. Shout out to Tyler. I couldn't ask for a better partner. He completely gets it, and that's super important with something like this. It's just someone who instinctually just knows what to do. You don't got to sit there and explain it. You ain't got to sit there. You look at each other and you know. And so for that to be our first time and for it to work as smoothly as it did, I have no complaints. So I look forward to doing pro doubles with him, another open doubles with him. Not sure when we're going to do that. We're waiting for the schedule to come out, but that's definitely in the future. Everything went smooth, man. Like, I have nothing to complain about. I just want to go get back to work and improve on all these things, because there's things that can be fixed, and there's things that can be fixed. We can get faster. We can get better. Our overall time was 7th out of the 37 groups, and our running time was 9 out of 37. Our function was 14th out of 37, and I know why. Our wall balls and row were kind of mid. Our rock zone, which I'm really proud of, was number 4 out of 37, so that's the top 10%. So we managed that really well. But overall, I have no complaints. HYROX Phoenix 2026 owes me nothing. I can't wait to get back to work and start working on the next one. But that's it. I just wanted to recap this video, get some insights, some commentary. If you loved it, if you liked it, please let me know. Subscribe, leave a comment. Yeah, that's it, man. I got another video I want to share really soon about another race that we did shortly after HYROX. But I ain't want to overload this and put too much on you at once. So we'll work on that next video. It's coming really soon. And then I have an announcement I want to make about what we're doing in the next several weeks. So please stay tuned. Please, come back if this is your first time being here. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much. Like I said, man, ain't a lot of us over here, but I like what we doing, man. And we building it. It's small. I really enjoy this. I've got way more I want to do. I just want to make sure that I properly prepare for these things. I don't want to ever show up to any of these races underprepared. I want to compete. I don't want to just survive. And that's just kind of how we're moving over here. But until the next one, y'all, I'll holler at y'all. Peace.